Hi everyone, my name is Leo, and if you follow our community you know that we have done several videos about latency. For instance, one video comparing 23 amp modelers, one specifically dedicated to the camper player, etc. This new video is fully focused on the Mooer GS-1000 latency management. Let's start. First of all, if you want more info about latency and how I have measured it, you can check out my 23 amp modeling pedalboards latency comparison video following the link in the card above. With this out of the way, let's jump straight to the results. With an empty chain, I mean no effect blocks in the chain, we have 1.8 milliseconds of latency. This means that basically the ADA conversion trip takes 1.8 milliseconds. If we switch on an amp block, the latency stays at 1.8 milliseconds, which means that the amp simulation algorithms are very efficient. If we activate a cab block, switching off the amp, we have 2.1 milliseconds. If, on the other hand, we activate both the IR and the amp blocks, the latency stays at 2.1 milliseconds. On the other hand, if we activate a profile I have done of an entire rig, amp plus cab, the latency is around about 2.3 milliseconds. That confirms that typically the profile blocks are pretty DSP intensive, or more intensive than an amp simulation. Then, if we activate a drive pedal, or a delay, or a reverb, or all together, the latency basically does not change, which is good. If we activate the effect loop, setting it in series and jumpering the send and return jack with a cable, the latency increases at 4 milliseconds, which is pretty consistent with the fact that the empty chain latency, and therefore the ADA conversion trip, takes 1.8 milliseconds. So, summarizing, the latency is pretty good at around 2.1–2.3 milliseconds without the effect loop, which is a good value. It is better than, for instance, the camper or the quad cortex, etc., even if it is not as good as the latency of the NAND player or Boss or NUX units, which are at around 1 milliseconds of latency. So that's all for this video, thank you so much for watching and see you soon, bye bye.